This video focuses on tell you the cost and benefit and the 6 simple steps to set up your own retirement fund using self-managed super fund. So basically we look at yearly minimum cost about $300, which is auditing of your financial statement. That's the price of an auditor, and you cannot do it yourself. You can do bookkeeping by yourself. You can prepare your finance statement, no problem. But you got to find the auditor to audit your financial statement for ATO. So if you don't do much trading, this might be the option for you. So in this video, I'll cover why you should set up part of your super fund and exposing to Bitcoin. So for most people's super fund, we look at annual growth between say minus 5%, yes minus, and under 10%. If you consistently achieve high 5%, that's an amazing result. But basically most of the industry fund, they allow you to partially roll over, which means withdraw some of the money to another super fund. So essentially you can create your own compliant super fund with very limited cost and use say 5% of your money. If you have $50,000, you can start say with $2,500 to buy Bitcoin. It gives you exposure to a very volatile but a class of portfolio that will give you almost guaranteed growth and the only true hedge to inflation. So basically if you're under 35 or if you have under $100,000, you can still set up your own super fund. Basically only withdraw a part of your existing fund into this super fund and expose it to Bitcoin and do not sell. I'm going to talk about details. So step 1 is to find a industry super. Ideally the one you already own, they can allow you to partially roll over. If not, you might need to do a full rollover to a different super fund that allow you to do partial rollover. So you can withdraw say 10%, 20%, 40% of the money that you can afford to depreciate it in fiat terms. But if you convert into Bitcoin, one Bitcoin is always one Bitcoin. 100,000 sats is always 100,000 sats. And because they're honest money, you will always enjoy the benefit of its deflating nature. So as a society develops, it should be cheaper to build a house. This is not what I invented, but basically I learned from Guy Swan, the guy who read more Bitcoin than anybody else you know. So basically, as the society develops, it should be cheaper to build a house because the technology is more advanced. Therefore, good money should keep its purchasing power. You don't have to worry about inflation, and that is what Bitcoin enables you to do. So once you've got, say, at least $10,000, even $5,000 in your super fund, you can talk to your current super fund and ask to do a partial rollover. Before that, apparently you have to set up your own compliant super fund. Basically, in order to run a super fund, you either need to have at least 2 individual trustees. One can be yourself, the other, I don't know, can be your husband or wife, or even your mom or your brother, sister. But basically, this is one option. The other option is that if you don't want to have another person as your individual trustee. You can set up a special company called corporate trustee. This will have upfront cost of $500. So either you find another individual to be your trustee, and he or she can also contribute his or own super into the super fund as well. Or you basically create a special company that every year you will incur like about under $100 cost. So with this, then you can basically ask a bank to open an account for the super fund, and then you can essentially use say 10% of your super income to buy Bitcoin. Initially, you can just buy the Bitcoin ETF on American stock market, or you can set up an exchange account and buy real Bitcoin. For the sake of simplicity, you probably start with buying Bitcoin ETF temporarily, or you can even use IG, which is a CFD, contract forward something. But these are derivation tools that does not allow you to own real Bitcoin, but you can still enjoy the appreciation, which is not. But it allows you to expose the Bitcoin without owning real Bitcoin, so you don't have to worry about losing your private key. But once you are comfortable with the volatility of Bitcoin and your account is in profit, open an exchange account, either Coinbase or say Independent Reserve, CoinJar, anything, to basically convert those profits into real Bitcoin and withdraw to your cold wallet or hardware wallet. It is that simple. Do not sell your Bitcoin until you've got say 300% profit, and do not sell all of it. You only sell a small portion over a multiple months to get some fiat, which is worth money. What are you going to do with worth money? You actually want to convert your worth money into better money, which is Bitcoin. So essentially, create your own super fund with either one other people that you trust, or create your own corporate trustee so you can have total control even with one people, and use half of your new contribution into super to buy Bitcoin, because this is money you will not be able to touch for the next 20, 30, 40 years. Store it in Bitcoin, store part of it into Bitcoin.